Today I want to talk about Zazen and about meditation. So, basically where I am with Zazen is I don't do it exactly the way meditation groups do it. And I don't do it every day, but I do think it's important to meditate because it feels good and it improves my experience of life. So, I've always liked to meditate. I meditate about once a week. I do it with the eyes open and I just sit Indian style. If my back really hurts, I'll sit just with my legs out in front of me and I'll look at a point on the wall that's close to the floor. So my eyes are partially closed but they're still open. I'm going to do that for 15 minutes, typically before lunch. And then I notice I have a lot more energy throughout the day and it's very enjoyable. The problem with meditation as a ritual is I don't think it's effective. You end up meditating, and actually I've stopped meditating before and I realized that was beneficial. So both are beneficial, and what that means is you have to be kind of pragmatic and you can't be dogmatic. And just meditating, maybe even once a month. I read an article in Zen International Forum talking about how some Buddhists don't meditate at all. And that's fine. I've done that also. It's kind of a process of self-discovery and deciding what's right for you and what's the most effective to get you either in a meditative state or in samadhi, whichever one you like. And you can also do closed eye that way. I've found that open eye is more effective. I used to do a certain kind of yoga where you do a breathing exercise. In the morning, it's like 45 minutes long, and then you'd meditate 2 times a day for 15 minutes with your eyes closed. And after a while, it just became burdensome. It was harder to focus at school or work, both. And it didn't seem like it was really putting me where I needed to be as far as just feeling meditative throughout the day. So I gave it up. And since then, I've been real skeptical about doing these prescribed meditations the way that they're sold to me. What I'd encourage people to do is kind of break down especially easier stuff like Zazen, where you're just sitting. You don't really have to break down these breathing exercises. I don't do any of them. And just kind of make it your own and do what works for you. Do what works, don't do what doesn't work, and live by your own experiences. That's Bruce Lee, a very wise man. And let's see, what else? Another thing that worked for me is to keep a journal. So keep a journal when you meditate and see how effective it was throughout the day. And if you find something that works, just keep doing it in some kind of cycle, once a week, once a month, however often you want to meditate. You could even do longer meditative sessions. You could try it for like 2 hours or longer and see what that does. I like to experiment with it. I like Miyamoto Musashi, the samurai, was a Zen Buddhist, and he was his own master. He had no guru or any of that. He had no Zen group telling him what to do. He was just his own master, from what I know of, and I think that's really cool. It's kind of a very American way of doing things. Just figure it out for yourself. It doesn't mean you can't get knowledge from others, but it means you have to filter it through your own worldview and just make it your own. And I find that works best for me. Another thing that works for me is to keep a journal of how much I sleep at night, and then see what's the best amount. How do I feel throughout the day, and how much sleep do I need? That way I know when I don't get enough, and I know when I've had too much, because that can throw off your meditative state as well. And I've kept a journal about that for actually quite some time. I started doing it a few years ago, and it helps, so I do it as needed. People don't really know why you sleep, but you have this thing called rapid eye movement, where your body's basically rejuvenating itself. It always feels good after a good night's sleep. And so it's kind of like meditation in the sense that your chi or your energy or your prana is kind of kind of influx and rejuvenating while you're asleep. So sleep is important, and it's important to get the right amount. That's really helped me out as well. And with that, I'm going to close this episode of Zen World Order for Life.